Om Bhurбhuvasvaham Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yonah Prachodayantam.
So Saram everyone, I continue to share with my personal memories about our beloved Swami Sri Sathya Sai Baba. Again, just now I keep in my hands one of my books with memories and experiences about years and years which I spent in Puttaparthi in Sathya Sai Baba ashram. And of course, the main memory connected with my personal conversations with Sathya Sai, his personal spiritual advices, and of course his wonderful miracles, because I was translator for the Russian-speaking groups back in 90s. But when I was living quite for a number of years in Puttaparthi, I was really lucky to meet a number of great Sai devotees. Okay, at that time I was like 20, 25, then 30 years old, and all that so-called old devotees of course were people from generations much older than myself. For them it was like 65, 75, 80 years old. And of course I remember I can mention such names like Swami Maheshwarananda, who wrote and published wonderful, great actually book. The title goes like Sathya Sai Baba and Naranarayana Guhashram. This book is about mysterious Himalayan ashram established by Sathya Sai. Of course, Mr. Subbarao, of course, Sathya Sai Padananda, and one more great personality is Ratan Lal. And today I want to speak a few words about Ratan Lal. Actually, for me it's absolutely obvious that Ratan Lal was actually enlightened being who was preaching Advaita philosophy in Puttaparthi ashram. And Advaita philosophy, it's a very famous kind of teaching now, and I'm very happy that Advaita becomes very famous, but at the same time many people just create a kind of blah blah stuff out of that ancient and highly advanced philosophy. As you know, I'm sure you know what does mean Advaita. Advaita means science, spiritual science of self-inquiry. And actually the main concept or bunch of concepts of Advaita Vedanta is that actually absolute consciousness, that's the only reality. And our true nature, true reality is Brahman or absolute consciousness. So it means whatever we can speak or experience regarding personal consciousness, personality, of course ego, that's all illusion. And that illusion creates suffering. And when we, with the help of greatest tool, which is contemplation and meditation, can experience our true reality of absolute consciousness, then this separate existence, this illusion of separate existence just disappears, and with the disappearance of this illusion actually disappear suffering itself. Basically it is impossible to manage suffering. Why? Because till the one who is creating this suffering still exists, so you can't manage your suffering. I mean, your separate ego, if it continues its existence, then for sure you can manage one type of suffering and the next level of suffering will start just tomorrow or today evening. So you have to work on a deeper level and realize your absolute inner reality. That's the philosophy of Advaita. It's very easy to speak about Advaita, and so we have so many so-called Advaita masters which easily may preach, teach, conduct different seminars or satsang sessions, but that's very far from real Advaita, because real Advaita or philosophy of non-duality is first of all experience. And the people who may give teaching based on experience, not just intellectual knowledge, that's rare chance to meet. And Ratan Lal from Put Party was one of the diamonds, I can say, because he was for sure the man of really high level spiritual experience. And actually his life is also a great example for many of us. He was born and came in Bombay. Now we call this wonderful city as Mumbai. And when he was a young man, Ratan Lal was really involved and was really interested in spiritual esoteric traditions, and he wanted to meet Guru and receive certain initiation. And finally he met one master, and his name was Nirmal Maharaj. And young Ratan Lal, that was still in Mumbai, at that time Bombay, he asked Nirmal Maharaj to initiate him into certain mantra or any kind of whatever, kriya or meditation or whatever. But Nirmal Maharaj told that he is not going to teach him any mantra, but he's going to teach him very unusual technique. And that very unusual technique was actually mirror meditation. Okay, mirror meditation, it's an extremely ancient way of meditation and self-inquiry, when you just sit in front of mirror and concentrate on just your own image in a mirror. That's very powerful technique. I was practicing this kind of meditation for years, because my personal meditation guru, whose name was Yogi Ramaya, he also taught me the same kind of technique. Well, actually I spent years and years in Put Party Sathya Sai Baba ashram, enjoying interviews and personal conversations with Swami, personal meetings. But my second guru, who taught me meditations and mantras, was Yogi Ramaya from the neighboring state of Tamil Nadu. And my guru, Yogi Ramaya, actually he taught me the same kind of meditation, apart from classical Kriya Yoga meditation, classical Bija Mantra tradition. My guru also taught me this mirror meditation. That's amazing. And I know that now quite many Western therapists, they also trying to use this tool, when a client, person, whatever, can really contemplate his own face in the mirror and to transform approach to oneself, let us say. But actually that's not only therapy, that's powerful meditation. And young Ratan Lal, he started exactly this kind of meditation. Later on, when I met Ratan Lal in 90s in Put Party, he told me so many interesting stories, how he meditated and what was his experiences. That's just, please remember this wonderful tool. And one day Ratan Lal, he came to know about a very unusual saint whose name was Sathya Sai Baba, and he lived in the South Indian state of Andhra Pradesh. And that's how Ratan Lal, with this much information, went to Put Party for the first time. That was middle of 60s. And when he came to Put Party, actually he understood pretty fast that Sathya Sai Baba was not just a saint, but the divine incarnation. And Ratan Lal chose to stay there in Put Party. And actually he spent there something like 40 years. Can you imagine, yeah? He came to Put Party in 1965, and Ratan Lal passed away, that was 2005. So he spent just 40 years there. And I remember how people, just visitors, could ask Ratan Lal such an easy actually questions for the Advaita philosophy. Okay, if everything is Brahman, if everything is absolute consciousness, if each of us is that absolute consciousness, why we need the divine incarnations like Sathya Sai? That's not easy question for the Advaita philosophy. You know, if you stick to the Bhakti tradition, that's obvious. But if you practice Advaita, then it's not easy question. And the brilliant answers by Ratan Lal was like this. He actually told to his visitors that, yeah, you see, your personal effort, I mean meditation, contemplation, something beyond just normal thinking process, that's very important, that you're part of the game. But you need grace to experience absolute consciousness. And the question is, how can you, get from where you can get this grace? And for that, Sathya Sai is the only source, because he is the divine incarnation of our time, and he is the source, not the main source, but I can say the source, the only source of grace. And because God is the source of grace. So it means your effort plus grace may lead you to experience. Because intellectual understanding of Advaita philosophy, it's basically nothing special in that. You can read a few books and easily understand everything about Advaita. But to experience Advaita, that's the true Advaita, because it's only experience which really important in any esoteric tradition, including Advaita. But for the experience, we need grace. So that was wonderful, brilliant, genius-like answer and instruction from Ratan Lal personally to me as well. Okay, I invite you to download my books. At the moment we have I published 3 books, and next to the video you can see the links. It's in a free domain, it's a free download, so read. I hope enjoy and for sure benefit. Sairam, see you next time.
Om Bhurбhuvassuham Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Nah Prachodayantam